So as you remember from part 1, we ended as we anchored in the beautiful turquoise waters in front of Paradise Beach at the island of Carriacou in the Grenadines.
Concrete jungle and that painted smiley.
The sky was as clear as the water as the sun started to sink in the western sky. We all settled in for a beautiful night on Sophisticated Lady and just watched the sun go down and relax as we wait for the next day's adventure.
Take me to paradise. Come on and take.
The next morning, we all piled into the dinghy and happily set off on our first trip to the beach. We were going to a private little beach located on the south side of Carriacou. Had been to this beach before and conditions were perfect. The seas were calm and the skies were clear.
Premonition. Lately, all I could see is your grace.
So with both the bow and the stern anchors set and the dinghy riding nicely offshore, everyone hopped into the water and started to do what everyone loves to do at the beach. Have some fun.
I miss dancing to the reggae on the island skies. I just got to be there. Oh girl, I miss my baby eyes. So bad.
And then, as always happens when you least expect it, disaster strikes.
Shit! We're in trouble.
Trouble indeed. With a 1,500-pound dinghy, even with all 5 of us, we didn't have enough power to flip the dinghy back over. The wave that hit us came out of nowhere and was never another wave as big, so we didn't even have that to help us flip it over. Our savior came in the form of a local dive company who happened to be passing by. The dive master swam ashore to help out, and with that one extra set of hands, we managed to get the dinghy flipped back over. After picking up all the pieces off the beach and piling them back in the dinghy, the dive master was kind enough to tow us back to Sophisticated Lady.
How's the new dinghy?
Come take me to paradise. Come on and take me to my paradise.
The amazing thing when disasters strike is how sometimes it brings people together to help solve a common problem. Here we have 5 people who, for the most part, didn't know each other only a few days prior. Yet within seconds, all hands were in the water without question to try and rectify the problem. Once back on the beach, the guys had the motor off within hours and work had already begun to get us back up and operational. There was lots to be done given that the entire console had been ripped out of the floor of the dinghy, but given the amount of trauma would have been experienced by this dinghy being pounded into the beach by the waves and surf under its own weight, it was amazing how well it survived.
I miss dancing.
The guys were great. Everything was stripped down and flushed out of all the sand and salt, and before we knew it, our little tragedy had turned into our first major accomplishment together. And isn't that the root of what every adventure should be about? And on that note, I want to congratulate my crew. You never know when something unexpected can happen, and even under unforeseen duress, the crew kept their calm and pulled together and nobody was hurt. So hats off to Jesse, Margaret, Erica, and Regina. Great job, you guys.
Take me to my paradise.
Take me to my paradise. Take me to my
Come on and take me.
Hold on.
Take me to my paradise. Take me down. Take me down there.
And as you can see, we're back up and operational, finally.
So now let's get back on track and on with the next adventure.
Oh, I long to take that ride. Please fly me to my island. Take me to that